There was once a wicked and evil Pharaoh who was the king of Egypt. He kept the Hebrew people in Egypt and made them work as slaves. The Hebrew people wanted to be free to go to the land that God had chosen for them, the Promised Land, but they could not do it on their own. They needed a leader to guide them. God chose Moses as their leader and worked miracles through him because he had great faith and trusted God. After a long time, Moses was able to convince Pharaoh to let the people go and leave Egypt. Pharaoh soon regretted his decision because who would work for him now? He quickly sent his army after them, thousands of soldiers with their weapons, horses, and chariots. But of course, God knew this would happen, and he planned ahead. He did not lead the Israelites along the main road, even though that was the shortest route to the Promised Land. Instead, he led them in a roundabout way through the wilderness toward the Red Sea. God went ahead of them and guided them. When they reached the Red Sea, the Israelites looked up and saw the Egyptian soldiers quickly approaching, and they were afraid. They cried out to God. They were so afraid. Moses responded, "Don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today. The Lord will fight for you. Just stay calm." Then Moses raised his staff over the water, and the water parted. Quickly, the Israelites walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground, with walls of water on each side. The Egyptians were still chasing after them in the middle of the sea. Once all the Israelites had safely reached the other side, Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the water rushed back into its usual place. The Egyptians tried to escape, but God swept them into the sea. When the Israelites saw what God had done for them, they were awestruck. That day, they put their faith in God and his servant, Moses.